Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're going to be taking a deep dive today into the world of handheld PC gaming.
Ooh, very cool.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff. And specifically, we're going to be looking at the Lenovo Legion Go.
Oh,
Our source material today is going to be a review from Lifewire.com,
right.
written by Jason Schneider, and this was published pretty recently, February 15th of this year.
Very cool.
So it's hot off the presses, and we're going to be
Yep.
asking the big questions like, is this thing a Steam Deck killer?
Right.
Is it actually going to be a good gaming experience with this kind of crazy new design?
Yeah.
So let's jump right in.
Well, right away, I think what's really interesting is that Lenovo's doing something pretty different here.
Hmm.
The reviewer really focused on the form factor. We're
Yeah.
talking like an 8-inch screen, and get this,
Okay.
detachable controllers like Joy-Cons.
Wow. Yeah. When I first saw that, I was like, is this thing even going to fit in my pocket?
Right.
But it is really different than what we're seeing from like the Steam Deck or the ROG Ally. Those are more kind of like traditional handheld consoles.
Yeah.
So what do you think this means for PC gaming?
Oh, man, it could be huge. I mean,
Yeah.
imagine being able to switch between controller and touchscreen whenever you want.
Right.
And it might just be more comfortable for a lot of people,
All right.
especially like for those longer gaming sessions.
That makes sense.
But, the review does say one thing that kind of surprised me. It says that it only kind of lives up to performance expectations.
Yeah, I saw that too, and I was a little confused because this thing's got like some serious horsepower under the hood.
Right.
It's got the AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme
Yeah.
and 16 gigs of RAM.
Yeah,
I mean, that should be able to handle pretty much anything you throw at it.
exactly. And that's kind of where the box kind of comes in because apparently the Legion Space Launcher has some issues.
Really?
It doesn't work very well with services like Game Pass and Steam.
Oh, no.
So if you're looking to access your games, that could be a real problem.
That is a bummer, especially because the reviewer was raving about the visuals.
Yeah, what do you say?
He was really impressed by the resolution and that 144 hertz refresh rate.
Oh, yeah. For people who don't know, that basically means that the image is updating way faster than on a normal screen.
Right.
So motion is going to look super smooth and responsive.
Yeah,
That's especially good for fast-paced games.
for sure.
Yeah.
But I guess the question is like, are those good visuals enough to make up for a clunky user interface?
Yeah, I mean, if Lenovo wants this thing to be successful, they've
Yeah.
got to figure out the software.
And this is where things get even more interesting
Yeah.
because this thing is running full Windows 11,
Oh, wow.
which on the one hand is awesome for flexibility.
Sure.
But does that actually work against it as like a dedicated gaming device?
Well, it is kind of a double-edged sword.
Right.
Like, yeah, you've got all the power and the versatility of a full PC, but you don't get that really streamlined console-like experience that you get with something like the Steam Deck,
Yeah.
which is running on Linux and is built specifically for gaming.
So is this kind of like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole?
Kind of, yeah. And the reviewer actually even recommends using workarounds,
Well,
like using Steam's Big Picture mode,
okay.
or even third-party launchers like Play Night to get around the limitations with the Legion Space software.
Huh. That makes me think this might be more of a niche device
Yeah.
for like those really techie gamers who are happy to go into the settings and tweak things.
That's a good point. It makes you wonder if Lenovo's kind of going after the enthusiast crowd first.
Hmm.
Maybe hoping that they'll build some hype and figure out workarounds for the more casual gamer.
That might not be a bad strategy if you think about it.
Yeah,
A lot of the coolest stuff in PC gaming comes from enthusiasts pushing the limits.
that's true.
But we're just getting started here.
Yeah.
Got a lot more to cover about the Legion. So stick with us as we continue our deep dive.
Awesome. I'm excited to hear more.
So are we thinking that Lenovo is really targeting this device towards those like hardcore PC gamers?
Yeah, like you said, those tinkerers who love to customize every little setting.
Yeah, exactly like Schneider in his review just kept coming back to that idea.
It was
Almost like Lenovo saying, hey, here's this awesome piece of hardware.
Mm-hmm.
Now go make it your own.
That's pretty cool.
A pretty bold move for sure.
It is. It's almost like a throwback to the early days of PC gaming,
Right.
when you'd spend hours messing with config files just to get a game to run.
Oh, yeah, totally. But do you think that works now?
I don't know. It feels a little risky.
How so?
Well, I mean, you've got a whole generation of gamers who are used to consoles.
Right?
They just want to pop in a game and start playing.
Plug and play.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want to be messing around with drivers and launchers and all that.
Yeah, that's true. But there's also like a ton of PC gamers who love that stuff.
Oh, for sure.
They love to push the limits of their hardware and software.
Absolutely. And if Lenovo can tap into that,
Yeah.
I mean, they could have a really dedicated fan base for this thing.
Right, like imagine,
People sharing custom settings, mods, workarounds.
yeah, it could be like a haven for like the hardcore handheld gamers.
Totally.
So it's like they're hoping the enthusiasts will pave the way for everyone else.
Yeah, like a build it and they will come kind of thing.
But will they, though?
I mean, that's the big question, right?
Yeah.
If Lenovo wants to compete with the Steam Deck,
Right.
they can't just focus on a small group of people.
So it's a tough balance.
It is. They need to make the Legion Go accessible, but without alienating those hardcore fans who love all the customization.
Yeah, and that's where the software comes in.
Totally.
They need to fix the issues with Legion space
Great.
and make it easier for everyone to use.
Imagine if they could like combine the power of Windows
Yeah.
with like the simplicity of a gaming console.
Oh, man.
That would be incredible.
You know, we haven't even talked about price yet.
Oh, that's a good point. How much is this all going to cost?
Yeah, especially when you've got something like the Steam Deck offering a really good experience at a much lower price. Maybe they're hoping that awesome screen and the hardware will justify a higher price tag.
Maybe, but they can't ignore the value proposition.
Right.
If it's a lot more expensive than the competition,
Yeah.
it needs to offer something really special.
So the stakes are high for Lenovo.
For sure, they're trying to appeal to everyone.
Right.
Both the hardcore enthusiasts and the more casual gamers.
And that's what makes this so interesting.
Definitely. It's like a real test to see if a device built for tinkerers
Yeah.
can succeed in a world that wants things to just work.
All right, so we've got this amazing screen detachable controllers, powerful hardware,
Uh-huh.
but we might have clunky software, and who knows what the price is going to be.
Right.
So what's the bottom line? What does the reviewer say?
Ooh, good question.
Stick around, because we're going to unpack all that and what it means for the future of handheld PC gaming. All right, so we've talked about all the cool stuff the Legion Go has going for it.
Yeah, the specs, the design.
But now for the big question, what did Schneider ultimately think?
Well, at the end of the review, he seemed cautiously optimistic.
What does that even mean?
Well, he definitely acknowledges that Lenovo is trying something new, like really trying to shake up the market.
Yeah.
But he doesn't seem totally convinced that they've, like, nailed it yet.
So what's holding it back?
The software, he keeps coming back to the software. It's like they built this incredible race car but forgot to put in a steering wheel.
That's a good analogy.
Right. And so that leads us back to the question we keep asking.
Yeah, is Lenovo going to actually fix the software?
Exactly. Or are they okay with this just being a niche device?
Right, like something that only really techie people are going to use.
So that's the decision they have to make. Do they try to make the Legion Go more user-friendly?
And appeal to like a wider audience?
Exactly, even if it means maybe losing some of those hardcore fans.
Or do they double down on the tinkerers?
The people who love to customize and tweak everything?
And maybe see those software problems as like a fun challenge.
It's a tough choice.
It is. And the success of the Legion Go could depend on what they decide.
Yeah, if they go mainstream, they could have a real competitor to the Steam Deck on their hands.
But if they stick with the niche approach,
it might end up being more of a cult classic.
Oh yeah, like one of those devices that everyone talks about online.
Right, known for its power, but also for its quirks.
So what do you think?
Yeah. What are your takeaways from all of this?
I mean, we've gone over the good, the bad, and the maybe even revolutionary.
Right.
But ultimately it comes down to you and what you're looking for in a handheld.
So are you the kind of person who likes to tinker with things?
Who enjoys figuring out workarounds and customizing everything?
Or do you just want something that works right out of the box?
Do you prioritize having a smooth and easy user experience?
Even if that means giving up some power or flexibility.
Because that's the big takeaway here.
There's no right or wrong answer.
The Legion Go is something different.
It's Lenovo saying, hey, we're going to do things our own way.
And it's up to you to decide if that works for you.
So will you give the Legion Go a shot?
Well, that's going to do it for this deep dive.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us as we explored the wild world of the Lenovo Legion Go.
It is a fun one.
And until next time, keep playing, keep exploring, and keep those brains engaged.